They are more commonly known as hedge hogs in Central Africa, agouti in French-speaking West Africa, and cane rat in English-speaking West Africa. Although widely hunted, grasscutter can also be domesticated. They are placid animals and relatively prolific, becoming sexually matured and able to reproduce at around 5 to 6 months and producing litters for up to 12 young. Because they are easy to rear, their production offers an alternative to poaching. Bushmeat. Grasscutters can grow quickly in intensive conditions, and their meat is high in protein and value. One of the major is the condition for breeding. The areas must be easily accessible. The space must also be there. The required length must also be met. And the materials for the rearing shed must be a construction which include either bricks or brick blocks, bamboo, straw, or matting. The key is to use the materials that are locally available, and the building should be ventilated and offer enough light to facilitate rearing activity. The long side of the structure should be made of a low wall with the upper half covered with chicken wire. The roof will also can be made out of corrugated green, straw, or any other kind of waterproof. The grasscutter are kept in pens inside the rearing shed. The number of pens depends on the production objective. It is recommended to have one breeding female per pen. The recommended surface area per adult animal in the pen is 0.2 meters square. One possible setup could include a pen for fattening young grasscutters, a pen for adults, a pen for mating, and a pen for giving birth and feeding the young. The layout of the pen depends on the type of material used in their construction. Metal pen can be moved around, whereas brick pens will be fixed. It is also very important to know that the open pens must give a way for them to be able to gain access. And we must know that feeding and drinking trough should be made of either clay or cement and should be heavy enough so that the grasscutter cannot knock them away. All that is needed to make a mold or is readily available. And we have different type of cages, which is also a lot of consideration had to be made. The most important thing is the reproduction. For the male, which are 8 months or 32 weeks at a minimum, both weigh 2.5 kg. For the female, 6.5 months or 26 weeks at a minimum, body weight 1.8. Gestation period is 5 months, 22 weeks. And also, we must know that the number of litters is per year is 2. The number of young per litter is average 4 to 6. And in terms of selecting the animals for breeding, we must also consider that the females should all have around the same weight, like must be different from that of the male. The male grasscutter can mate with several females in a single period, and there are 2 options: the permanent mating and also the temporary mating. The permanent mating is when the male and females remain together in the same pen and only the young are removed after weaning, while the temporary, the female is placed in the same pen as the male at a particular time and removed once pregnant. We must also know that the gestation period is around 5 months after mating, and there are different ways of testing when they are pregnant. And the moment the newborn grasscutter are given birth to, care must be taken. After delivery, special measures should be taken to ensure that the mother gets sufficient good quality food, that she gets plenty of water, which is essential for effective milk production. Weaning generally takes about 40 days after birth. Grasscutter is a beautiful animal and can also be used as pet. But the problem most especially is the handling. Handling grass cutter is not easy. The different technique that is being used. The young, which is lighter, is lifted by the tail. By holding the base of the tail, then grab his back with the hand, just behind the front leg. The animal is thereby turned on his back while holding the tail. The medium size can also be lifted by the tail, but it's recommended to grab it on the back with the other hand so that there's not too much weight on the tail, especially if the animal is agitated. The animal is then turned on his back, while the heavy animal should be handled by the means of squeeze cage. Feeding, which we all know and which is good to be aware that they are readily available. Grass cutter can eat fresh or dried food, although their diet consists mainly of green forage, which can be supplemented by feeding with the high energy value. We must make sure they eat all the needed requirement, and they have to take a lot of nourishment. The animal should have continued access to food. Water should always be available.